The mortal realms have been despoiled. Ravaged by the forces of the dark gods, they stand on the brink of utter destruction. Against such foes, courage is the truest defense and the most effective weapon. But it is not always strong enough to prevail, for this is the season of war. This battle is brought to you by our channel members and FLGS partners, Warpfire Minis and X-Planet.
Hello and welcome to Season of War. Tonight we are excited to bring you another game of Age of Sigmar. Joined by Ryan tonight, and I am Jordan, as you probably know at this point. It's been a couple of years, so hopefully you've paid attention. But jumping right into things, we are playing the mission, the Frigid Zephyr. So we've got 3 objectives on the table. It's hold 1, hold 2, hold more storing. The twist with this mission, as there always is one in AOS, is that there is a storm going on and shooting is currently limited to 12-inch range. It affects me a little bit, but I'm not too heavily weighted in shooting,
and it's
thankfully.
not just shooting, it's visibility.
Yes, so
spells, abilities.
Yep, very true. So it could come up in a couple different ways, but thankfully, once we knew we were playing this mission, I was like, okay, I don't have too heavy of a shooting army, which you can with Deepkin, so feeling all right about it. But it'll be interesting to see how much of an effect it does have.
Yep.
And that's about it though. Ryan, do you want to take us through your Nighthaunt list?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm an Emerald host because I don't have one of the units for any of the other hosts, so I'm going to be doing some mortal wounds for you.
Yep.
Pretty straightforward army. I'm led by Olinder. I've got a 30 block and a 20 block of chain rasps. I've got 10 Reapers, a 6 blocks of Spirit Host. I like to run them in 3s normally, but I want to get down to a 1-drop, so 6 block it is. I've got a Cruciator here. I've got the Black Coach. Then I also have a unit of 5 Hexrays shoring up the flank here. And then finally I have a Guardian of Souls who's my general. He's Master of Magic. And then also for the Artifact of Power, it's on my Cruciator, and he has the once per game aura of +1 attack.
Nice.
Can't remember what it's called, Beacon of something. And that's pretty much the army. Like I said, 1 drop. And yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, unfortunately I came at 2 drops tonight because I added in some Aether Wings at the end when I was writing this list. But taking you through it, I'm playing Dom Hain, so this is the sub-faction that's built more around the recursion with a Soul Render. I do have 1 Soul Render and only 1 big block that he's really worried about returning models to, which is a big block of 30 Thralls. I then also have 2 other units of Namarti Reavers as well though. Overall, it's a bit of a mixed arms list. Rounding things out, I have 2 units of Ishlean Guard here for both a little bit of speed and defensive screening and punch and all that stuff. They're a good utility unit. And then I have a Leviathan here and an Akelian King, who is my general with a normal Smash King loadout from what you can do now. Arcane Tome still, but no flaming weapon, obviously. And then I do have a Akelian Thrall Master here to help buff up my Thralls alongside the Turtle. And I think that's it. Mentioned the Aether Wings off the top, so that's it. Brings me in at 1990. Ryan, you're getting the Triumph. And you're getting choice of who goes first.
You're going first.
So we're gonna jump into Idoneth Deepkin, turn 1.
Unsure what souls they can reap from the dead, the Idoneth battle tactic is intimidate the invaders. The Akelian King and Guardian of Souls both use heroic leadership, then the Deepkin enact the ritual of Deep Sight. The Akelian King, Leviathan, and 1 unit of Ishlean Guard are all targeted with the Emerald Curse. The Akelian King then casts Mystic Shield, but it is unbound by Olinder. Rushing to secure their battle tactic, the Namarti Thralls use at the double. With their visibility limited by the Raging Storm, the Idoneth complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Idoneth Deepkin, turn 1. Honestly, not gonna be too much to talk about. The biggest choice was just what battle tactic I'd go for, and I went for Intimidate the Invaders just to get outside of my deployment zone for the most part, which was actually a little tricky because I had so many units and small heroes, so I just needed basically to move my fast stuff out and then use at the double on 1 unit, which was my Thralls, to get them kind of positioned outwards. Further away from stuff right now, keeping them safe. Yeah, we'll see how it kind of pans out. Obviously the double is something I'm kind of worried about, so that's, again, always a downside of why I like to be 1-drop typically with Deepkin, but even if I was, I could have lost the roll, right?
Yep.
So that's it for this. No shooting because, again, there's a storm. I can't see anything. So that's not good, but we'll head into Nighthaunt turn 1.
Unwilling to suffer the living to pass, the Nighthaunt battle tactic is one stop, no return. The Guardian of Souls uses heroic leadership while the Achillean King fails. The Guardian of Souls casts Hoarfrost on the spirit hosts, though Lady Olinder fails to cast both Grief-Stricken and Shade Mist. The Ishlean Guard redeploy, moving a massive 6 inches. Olinder lifts her veil, dealing 4 mortals to the Ether Rays. With combat finally joined, the Chain Rasps easily finish off the last Ether Ray. Not the most impressive kill for First Blood. Rolling 2 1s for the Emerald Curse, only the Ishlean Guard suffer 2 mortal wounds. Staking their claim on the center of the battlefield, the Nighthaunt complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
All right, so I had a turn. It was an okay turn. I was a little sad in that Olindo failed both her spells, and those were the spells to kind of shore me up to be tougher, because I know you're coming at me if you win the roll off. So I was hoping to be a little bit tanky. So that could be a little bit worrying, but I had to move forward because I wanted to score a battle tactic. So I went with the one where the coach has to take an objective from you and be within 3 inches of the objective, which was annoying. I was originally just going to tag him the edge of the objective, but it had to get within 3 inches. So the army just has to be further forward than I wanted to. Since I went so far forward, I killed the Aetherwings. I wasn't intending to go that far forward, but I needed it to score, so we've got some dead Aetherwings.
Yeah.
Got some points in the coach, which isn't the worst thing ever. I was going to go for a long charge onto the Eels, but you rolled a spicy 6 on your redeploy.
Well, yeah, it wasn't a long charge originally.
No, it was going to be like a 3-inch charge, and I had Hoarfrost on them, so that those ghosts were ready to mess up some Eels. And yeah, you rolled a 6 for the redeploy. So, not the end of the world. I also did drop a unit of Reapers right in the back corner. The thinking there is, I mean, if I get the double turn, your heroes are really, really vulnerable. And if I don't get the double turn, you have a unit in your backfield that you have to deal with.
You're still threatening heroes one way or another.
And it's fast enough to catch you, right? Like, often when you drop stuff back there, like, it just spends the whole game chasing you, but they're quick enough they'll catch you. So it puts you in a situation where you have to
It's not like I'm running too far away either.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also worth noting with my Emerald Host, I managed to roll 2 1s, so I did not hurt the turtle.
The targets you care most about the Turtle and the King.
The Turtle and the King, so that sucked. But I did take a couple wounds off the Eels, but that was kind of a sad moment. So we'll see what happens.
Cool. Well, I guess we can jump into Prio, Ryan. You'll get all your points, taking 2 objectives.
Yep.
And that's a 4.
I rolled my typical 1.
Nice. Well,
do you want it?
I don't want to get doubled later, so I would like to give it away, but I think it's, we're too close where it makes sense to take it, jump on, and go into Idoneth Deepkin turn 2.
With the storm holding and visibility limited, the Deepkin battle tactic is led into the Maelstrom. The Achillean King fails heroic leadership while the Guardian of Souls succeeds. The Achillean King has Mystic Shield unbound again. Creating a defensive front, the Chain Rasps redeploy and move 6 inches. Have we seen 2 6-inch redeploys in a row? Wild. The first unit of Reavers shoot at the Chain Rasps, dealing 4 damage. The large unit of Chain Rasps discorporates as the next unit of Reavers fire, also dealing 4 damage. The Leviathan's harpoons target the Spirit Host, dealing 8 damage. The Leviathan uses Forward to Victory, but fails to make its charge. The Achillean King uses Lord of Tides on himself and the Ishlean Guard. Then the Thrall Master uses Way of the Riptide. Starting the fighting, the Achillean King deals 11 damage to the Black Coach, which survives with just 1 wound. The Ishlin guards split their attacks, dealing 3 damage to the spirit hosts and 9 to the chain rasps. As the chain rasps discorporate, the Namarti thralls also split their attacks, taking down the black coach and dealing 12 damage to the chain rasps. Yikes, those thralls absolutely slap. Retaliating against the elves, the chain rasps deal 3 damage to the thralls. Unable to use all-out attack because of Lady Olinder, the Ishling guards attack but only deal 2 damage to the chain rasps. The Cruciator and Guardian of Souls deal a combined 2 wounds to the Ishling guard. Attacking the other unit of Ishling guard, the spirit hosts deal 4 damage. Then the chain rasps deal another 3. 1 unit of chain rasps uses Inspiring Presence, while 6 models flee from the other unit. 3 thralls flee to battle shock, but 5 more are returned to life by the Soul Render. Why do they have better recursion than the undead? Fucking elves. Showcasing their devastating lethality, the Idoneth Deepkin complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Deepkin turn 2. Like we've had in a couple recent games with Ironjaws, Deepkin can also still put out the damage if they get the chance.
Yeah.
Notable in a build like this too, I have a bunch of compounding buffs. Like looking at the thralls, who are obviously a big hammer. I've got the turtle giving them +1 hit. I've got gave them exploding 6s from the Thrall Master. And then the Italian King obviously has his +1 hit aura for mounted stuff. It was a pretty devastating turn in terms of like...
Yeah, I lost.
Yeah. The big thing, I think the big thing, like going into chain rasps, okay, I'm gonna kill a lot of chain rasps. Where I got a little lucky or was able to capitalize is when you redeployed your chain rasp, you let me move within 2 of the black coach. So you tried to close off that gap, but in stretching out, I was able to get within 2.
The big mistake was when you shot me, I pulled 4 from that spot.
Oh, so that could have been the gap. Yeah. You made the charge harder for the turtle.
At the same time, I did fail almost all my 4-ups on the coach too, which is how you actually could kill it.
Theoretically too, that did keep the turtle out, because the turtle might have gotten in there.
Yeah.
I used 4 to victory, didn't make the charge though. But again, a lot of damage output here with everything. Yep. Over on this side, your Spirit Host and Chain Rasps actually took out or finished off 2 eels, so the unit's still kicking though, didn't run to battle shock, couldn't obviously inspire any of my units, so I didn't save the CP. And while I did lose a couple thralls to battle shock, I brought back 5 afterwards, so I only lost 2 in total. Perfectly comfortable with that. But again, it's looking real good for the Deepkin right now. I'm going to get my points, score well. But again, I know with the battle shock thing, that unit of 30 has the potential to evaporate pretty quick.
It does if
you can get the damage in. Yeah, so that's going to be the big test. Whether Nighthaunt's going to be able to scrape enough and come back. Obviously a potential double coming too, so we'll see where we end up and jump into Nighthaunt, turn 2.
Looking to regroup and respond, the Nighthaunt battle tactic is Ceaseless Nightmare. The Guardian of Souls fails heroic leadership while the Achillean King uses their finest hour. Lady Olinder uses No Rest for the Wicked to return 3 chain rasps and heal 2 wounds from the spirit hosts. The Guardian of Souls casts Spectral Lure and returns 3 more chain rasps. Lady Olinder fails to cast both Shade Mist and Grief Stricken. Sad, she's really not having a good day, is she? Clearly nervous, Lady Olinder fails to lift the veil. The Reavers unleash Hell, dealing 2 damage to take down a Hex Wraith, who then shriek as they charge in. The Spirit Hosts and Chain Rasp stun and petrify the other unit of Reavers as they charge into combat. The Hex Wraiths begin the fighting and deal 5 damage to the Reavers and take no damage from the Elves' reprisal. The Chain Rasps deal 4 damage to the Reavers and the Spirit Hosts kill 4 more. 4 Namarti flee from the 2 units of Reavers, and the Emerald Curse deals 9 mortal wounds. Taking the fight back to the Elves, the Nighthaunt complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
Alright, so it was an interesting turn. I mean, I'm playing for the double now because I just got hit so hard. If you win this priority, I just lose no matter what happens. So So I'm a little bit vulnerable just because of that. I ran the Reapers forward, put them in a vulnerable position, but if I get the double, then there is a chance that I can just sandwich this big unit and take
it. Did enough damage and force a battle shock.
The only battle attack that I had a chance of getting was to make you fail 2 battle shocks, which I succeeded in.
You could have done it. Letting the Maelstrom was a guarantee if you wanted to charge a hero.
Right, but that was extremely dangerous.
Yes.
So reasonably, I'm trying to avoid extremely dangerous situations. So as a result, I just pulled out of the middle because I just didn't have the resources to go into the thralls.
Yep.
So I took out...
Speaking of which, 2 more come back.
There you go. So took out the archer units. This one's got 2 left, but they're...
Forced battle shocks on both, which was big.
Yeah.
Notably, you decided not to pile in your 3rd Spirit Host here, so you didn't overkill this unit.
Yeah.
And you left 1 model left, which exactly to force the battle shock. So smart there.
Ended up taking 2 objectives, so I did score max, which is keeps me in it. Olinder just completely failed. She failed both her casts, not unbound, failed.
Yeah.
And then her 2+ lift the bail, she also failed.
Yes.
So she did nothing.
Because the Italian King had the potential to die here, especially he did take 3 from the Emerald Host.
But didn't happen. I did use her once per turn, or once per game, bring stuff back, and I brought some units back. It wasn't a ton, but it was some. And yeah, just backed everything else out. Yep. Revived some of these with my Guardian of Souls. I had to use a ton of arcane dice to get a high enough roll to... It was like 2. Yeah. But I got there, brought 3 back. I would have liked to roll more, but you get what you get. And yeah, other than that, I'm not in the greatest spot, but a double could put me into an okay spot.
Yeah. And priority, like you'll still score well, so
yeah, exactly. If I win priority, I just score max again and just try and kind of hold on. But that's what this comes down to.
All right, Prio, I win ties. That's a 2. Ryan,
I rolled so many 1s. This game is absurd.
Yeah. It's not looking too good, but we'll jump into Deepkin turn 3.
Looking to overwhelm and drown the undead, the Deepkin battle tactic is Assassins of the High Tide. The Achillean King heroically recovers 2 wounds, and the Guardian of Souls uses heroic leadership. The Chain Rasps rally and return 4 models, then the Achillean King has Mystic Shield unbound yet again. The Reavers shoot and finish off a Hexwraith, but the Leviathan is unable to deal any damage. The Achillean King deals 1 mortal wound to Olinder on impact. After the Thrallmaster uses Way of the Riptide, the Thralls split their attacks, dealing 5 damage to the Cruciator and taking out the remaining Chain Rasps. The Achillean King attacks Olinder and takes her down by the exact wound. After it stomped the Grimcast Reapers, the Leviathan attacks and kills 8 ghosts in total. The Ashlain Guard are next to fight and deal 4 damage to the Hexwraiths. Torn to ghostly shreds, the Nighthaunt forces only deal a total of 5 wounds back to the Deepkin, then 1 Thrall flees to Battle Shock, though 5 are returned by the Soul Render. Delivering another devastating wave of attacks, the Idoneth complete their battle tactic and score 5 points.
All right, the tempo of the game's coming up Deepkin right now, with obviously the priorities both going my way, which was big, notably, worth mentioning.
Really? Shocking.
Yeah. Got pretty much everything into combat, killed a lot of stuff. Didn't kill everything, like I left 2 Blade Dice and 1 Hexwraith.
They're Reapers.
Yeah, whatever. Then what I left, like those 2 heroes, I actually went into the Cruciator, try and kill him down, make it easier to kill Olinder with my king. Left him on 1, but still killed Olinder to the exact wound. Yeah, with the last attack of the last profile. So that obviously is just a devastating amount of output. Got my battle tactic. Ooh, I would get my battle tactic just because I did kill Olinder. So if she lived, I would have failed my battle tactic. but I'll get my max points now because of that. So again, things are going well. You killed 5 thralls, 1 more fled, then I brought 5 back. So net loss of 1, which is comfortable. And yeah, I think you're going to have a little bit of opportunity to scrape maybe. So with the way things are shaping up, we're going to kind of talk things out from here because Ryan, you're probably going to, there's little to gain from combat at this point or engaging and just battle tactics. So you would have bottom of turn 3.
Yeah, so I can score Intimidate, which is
Intimidate the invaders, yep.
And that's kind of the last thing I'll ever be able to score. Assuming I get the double,
well,
I'm going to hold that for 2 turns.
With a priority, actually, you'll get this. So you have 3 points on your turn. With the priority, if you win prio into round 4, you would actually have a good chance you could set up for a surround and destroy.
Yeah, but I still wouldn't get ahead.
That's a 1. I win ties though.
I know, and I haven't not rolled a 1 yet.
Oh. Okay, so you would get a tactic. You get surround and destroy, or could get surround and destroy on turn 4, and the other point for the objective, but. Like you said, good chance you're not taking either of those back.
Yeah, like there's a weird outside chance on the first, like the Reapers flee going to here.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I think the Eels beat.
Yeah, it's 2 Reapers, probably not enough. And even in the outside chance, like you said, I still have the King, still have the Thralls, still have the Turtle, the 3 bait hammers.
Yeah, well, I'm never going to kill you. It's
exactly.
Can I get enough points to win? And it's not the case.
Yeah, for sure. I just, again, with talking you out, it's like, there's things that are just not preventable, so it's like, that's why we don't play it out, because even if you hit that objective, let's say got that extra point or 2 points on round 5, so round 4, there's nothing you can do to prevent me from taking it back and killing those units.
And you're going to get your grand strategy. I'm not. Yeah. Believe it or not, no grand strategy for me. Yeah. So it's, I think I'll be down by a good 20 points by the end.
Yeah, it won't be that, because you scored pretty decently, like, again, if we give you that with pull-out rally, you're 5 points. You only drop 2 points in the first 4 turns. So if turn 5 is 0, and I'm getting 5 on my last couple turns, then it's only like a 7-10 point game.
10 points. That's still pretty big.
Yeah, it's fairly big in AOS, but with obviously grand strat being 3 of that, it's.
Yep.
In terms of how the table looked, it's a good score.
That's true.
Because the table didn't look good pretty quickly on, but
yeah, that was a rough one. I can blame priority, but there was also some really hideous rolls, and I just think I probably shouldn't have tried to score on turn 1. I don't know if that puts me in just a losing position too, but stepping onto that objective was a mistake.
Yeah, you had either intimidate the invaders or put the black coach forward.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I should have been maybe take that one or take 0 on turn 1. Yeah. Because I think if I came within, because the run in charge, I have to be like 18 inches away not to die.
No, and notable because of that also a good mission for me because it's very central, and I can have the speed to close.
Yeah. So had I stayed all the way back in my deployment zone, but at some point I have to come forward. So maybe that's not the right choice either.
And maybe it was just the gamble of priority, like you win turn 2 and throw some damage into the Thralls, force a big battle shock, then I'm like trying to keep that unit alive more than like doing devastating damage with it.
Maybe if anything, that wasn't that was the wrong choice. It's the fact that I failed all my debuffs.
Yeah, the spells to keep them alive.
So I just never had any defensives up. And because on that first charge in, you killed 13, left like 12 or something alive. Had you been -1 to wound, I probably would have had another 5 guys.
Yep, because I had diverted a lot to finish off the coach.
Yep.
Yeah, so very interesting. Obviously, like we said earlier, this is one of those armies that have the damage output in combat. I still have some decent shooting in this list, so like just across the board, the output of this army, the potential is pretty wild, and we saw it on full display today.
Yeah, and I was just on the back foot the whole game. Like I'm a charging army that didn't get the charge, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be it for us, guys. We're gonna wrap things up here. Obviously, a glorious, triumphant day for the elves. Not so for the forces of death, but you take it when you get it. So we're happy over here. But we hope you guys enjoyed that battle report. Either way, obviously, if you're cheering for the elves, you're gonna be happy alongside me. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you soon in another battle report.